My name is Teacher Jude. Do you want to hear a short story?
Yes!
Do you want to hear a story about the hare and the tortoise?
Yes!
This is the tortoise and this one is the hare. But before I read the storybook about the hare and the tortoise, can you give some ideas or description about the tortoise and the hare? Anyone please raise your hand. Samara?
The tortoise is very slow and the hare is very fast.
Okay, very good.
Who next?
Who are excited to read? Who are excited that I will read the story of the hare and the tortoise? All right. Because all of you are excited, I will give each of you a magic star. Give your hand. Okay, this one for you, Mira.
Yeah.
And this one for you, Samara. And this one for you, Kuya Justin. And now, I will read the story about the hare and the tortoise. Samara, can you please listen carefully to our story? I will start now. Once there was a hare. He felt very proud because he could run very fast. One day, he saw a slow-moving tortoise. Nakakita daw si hare ng mabagal na tortoise. The hare laughed at the tortoise and said, "You're moving very fast. Shall we have a running race?" Remember, kids, it is not nice to laugh at someone. The tortoise knew that he could not run fast like the hare. He thought, why not have some fun? I am not worried about failure. So he said, I am ready for the race and accepted the challenge. The forest friends fixed a date for the race. So now kids, who do you think who win the game? Is it be the tortoise or is it be the hare?
The tortoise.
Now, who will say the hare? Now,
The hare will
who will
loser.
who will say the hare? Raise your hand. Sino ang may gusto na hare ang manalo? Ayan. All right. Sino naman ang may gusto na tortoise ang mananalo sa story? Alright. Are you excited to find out who will win the game?
Yes!
Me too. I'm excited. Let's see. On the fixed day, both the hare and the tortoise arrived at the starting point. Pumunta na daw sila sa starting point, yung sa karera nila.
Tapos may haba-haba.
Merong line. They had to run up to a big banyan tree nearly a mile away. It was really a long distance for the tortoise. The race started. The tortoise began to move forward slowly and the hare ran at a great speed. After running for some time, the hare stopped to take a rest. The tortoise was far behind. It will take him a long time to catch me, thought the hare. He lay down under a shady tree and soon fell asleep. Meanwhile, the tortoise kept moving slowly and steadily. On the way, he saw the hare is deep asleep. Yun na nga, si hare or yung bunny ay natulog muna dahil iniisip ni hare na mababagal daw si tortoise kaya ang ginawa niya
Akala niya ay hindi wiwin yung tortoise.
oo ay mabagal ay naisip niya yung matulog muna ayun naunahan ni tortoise si hare then he continued to move and finally reached the winning point. So, yun na nga, si Tortoise nakapunta na sa winning point, and the animals declared the winner is the turtle. The animals clapped and cheered. Yay! The winner is the tortoise. The hare woke up after some time and began to run fast. But it was too late now. When he reached the end point, he saw the tortoise waiting with a smiling face. The hare hung in his face in shame. Yun. Si hare ay pagkagising niya nasa finish line na si tortoise. Then gusto pa niyang humabol ni hare doon sa finish line, pero malayo na. Kaya talo siya, kaya nahiya na. And that is the end of our story.
The moral.
Do you like our story today?
Yes.
And now, again, who are the main characters of the story?
The hare
Ate Mira, what is your answer?
the hare and the tortoise.
Correct. The main characters of our story is the tortoise and
And the
the
hare.
hare. Very good. This is your magic star. And this is another one.
Hindi ilagay mo dito sa
What is the lesson of our story? Kuya Justin, what is the lesson of our story?
It does not matter how slowly you go as long
Okay.
as you do not stop.
Okay, very good. How about you, Samara?
Slow and steady wins the race.
Okay.
Mira naman. Never underestimate the biggest of all.
Very good. All of your answers are correct. The lesson of our story is that the more successful by doing it steadily and slowly than by doing it quickly and carelessly. Alright kids, since you are doing great today and you listen the teacher carefully, I will give all of you a Chucky and biscuits.
Yay!
Each of you will have a Chucky and
Thank you, Teacher
a
Jude.
biscuits. And now, give some break now, kids. And that is our story for today.
Goodbye, Pillow.
So, good morning, class.
Good morning, teacher.
So, today, I will present to you our short story entitled The Lion and the Mouse. Again, The Lion and the Mouse. So, listen carefully because I already have a question regarding to our short story. So, are you ready, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's proceed to our short story. Okay, the lion and the mouse. There lived a lion in the forest bush. Near the bush lived a mouse in a hole. So, nakatira daw ang leon sa kagubatan. At malapit sa tinitirhan ng leon ay nakatira ang daga. It was a hot day and the lion was taking rest after a long hunt. The playful mouse came out of his hole and started climbing up and down the lion. The running of the mouse tickled the lion and he woke up. So habang nagpapahinga daw yung lion, ay lumabas sa lungga yung daga at naglaro sa katawan ng lion na ikinagising nito. So, he cuffed the mouse and said, "You silly fool! You disturbed my sleep. I am going to kill you. Sabi ng leon, noong pagkahuli niya sa daga, papatayin daw niya ang daga. So the mouse looked at the lion and pleased in his face and replied humbly, O king of the forest, please do have mercy on this small creature. I have committed mistake. If you excuse and pardon me, I will surely repay you in future. So, ayun. Sabi ng nagmamakaawa ang daga sa leon na palayain siya. At sinabi ng daga na pag pinalaya daw siya ng leon ay makakaganti din daw ito sa mga susunod na araw o sa susunod pang mga pangyayari o mangyayari. So the lion was astonished by the bravery of the mouse and he let the mouse free. So ayun, naawa ang leon at humanga yung leon sa katapangan ng daga kaya pinalaya niya ito. So they passed. Once when the lion went for a hunt, he got trapped in the net. So habang naghahanap daw ng makakain ang leon, ay nahuli ito o na-trap ito sa lambat. So he started roaring. Sumigaw ito upang humingi ng tulong. So the mouse heard the roaring and thought, the lion must have been trapped. I should help him. He ran to the net and started gnawing. So ang sabi ng narinig ng daga yung sigaw ng leon. Agad-agad siyang nagtungo sa kinaroonan ng leon at minatgat niya yung lambat para makawala yung leon. Soon, the net gave away and the lion got free. They became a good friend. So ayun, nakawala sa lambat ang leon sa tulong ng ano? Yan, tama. So, at dahil doon, maging matalik na magkaibigan ang leon at ang daga. Yan, very good. So, base sa ating story, ano yung pamagat ng kwento na ating binasa? The lion
is the mouse.
Yan, very good. At who is the main character of the story? So, si ang lion at ang yan, very good. So, ano naman yung moral lesson o yung mga natutunan nyo sa kwento natin binasa? Ano daw yung moral lesson o yung mga mahalagang natutunan nyo sa ating binasa? Pagiging matulungin
At pala kaibigan ko.
yan. Sige. Maging matulungin sa ating mga kapwa. Yan, pag nangailangan daw ng tulong. Tapos, huwag daw nating maliitin na kahit daw maliit ay nakakatulong din. Yan, very good. So, ayan, moral of the story or moral lesson. Yan yung sinasabi ko, never underestimate anyone. So, even tiny things can be of immense help. So, the smallest act of kindness make the biggest differences in someone's life. So, naintindihan mo mga bata? Yan. Thank you very much.
Good morning, class. Do you hear the story about the little girl named Thumbelina?
Not yet, Mom.
Are you excited to hear the story about this?
Yes, Mom.
Okay, let's start. This is the story of Thumbelina. Once upon a time, a woman lived by herself in a faraway village. She was very lonely after her husband died. She always wanted to have a child, but alas, she didn't have any. One day, she went for her friend who has good witch. She gave her a grain of barley and told her to go back home and plant it. The woman did as she was told. The next morning, a beautiful plant had grown from the seed. It had a lovely flower that looked like a tulip. The woman had never seen a flower like that and was mesmerized by its beauty. She gently kissed one of its petals. As she did that, the flower opened, and inside it was a beautiful little girl, no bigger than the size of a woman's thumb. The woman instantly fell in love with her and called her Thumbelina. Thumbelina looked away the woman's loneliness. In the day, she would tell her story and talk to her. Sometimes, she would make Thumbelina a boat of tulip petal which she could draw in a plate of water. At night, Thumbelina would sleep in a bed out of walnut with a blanket made of rose petal. One night, as she was asleep, a frog came to her window and saw her. He thought to himself, "What a beautiful girl! She'll make a lovely bride for her son." And so, he grabbed Thumbelina and hopped away to his home. When his son saw his bride-to-be, he was very happy. "She's beautiful, father. I'll marry her," said his son. "Okay, son. I'll put her on water lily in the middle of the pond till then. This way, she'll not be able to escape." And so, the frog put Thumbelina in the middle of the pond on the water lily leaf. Thumbelina tried to escape from her new home, but when she couldn't, she broke down crying. Two minnows were sitting under the same leaf, and they heard crying. They asked her about her troubles, and when she told them, they decided to help her. They nibbled away the lily stem. Soon, it broke and floated away with Thumbelina. Just when Thumbelina thought she was free, a beetle came down and took her away to his home. He called over his friend to introduce them to his pretty prisoner. But the beetle's friend told him that she was too. "She didn't belong to them. I agree. I think I should let her go," thought the beetle, and so he dropped her in the long grass and flower. Thumbelina was very happy that she was free from her captors. However, she did not know where her home was. She spent many days in the grass and between the flowers. She would eat the pollen of the flowers and drink the dew from their leaves. One day, as she walked in, she stumbled upon a small house made out of mud. It had a strange round entrance. She went up and knocked on the door. A mouse opened the door, saying, "Hello, isn't it cold out there for you today? Come in, please." "Thank you very much," said Thumbelina. Once Thumbelina was settled comfortably in the mouse house, she asked her about who she was. Thumbelina told him her entire story. "Don't worry, you can stay here as long as you like," said the mouse. So, Thumbelina started staying in her newfound home. To make herself useful in the house of Mouse, she would cook for the mouse and tell him stories. After a few days, the mouse said he had invited a guest over. He's the richest mouse in all the land. He's a very good friend of mine. That night, the mouse friend came over for dinner. They all talked and had a good time. During the course of dinner, the friend fell in love with Thumbelina and declared that he would marry her. Thumbelina had no choice but to go along with what was happening. When the friend offered to show her his home, she agreed to visit his house, and the three of them set off together. On the way, they entered a tunnel. They found an injured swallow lying on the ground. The mouse friend kicked it and rudely said, "Serves her right. What is she doing in the tunnels? He should have stayed in the air." Thumbelina was shocked to see that someone could treat another like this. Unseen by the mice, she ran away from there. Once she was sure that the mice had left, she came back and attended to the swallow. She took great care of her till she fit to fly again. It became spring by the time the swallow could fly again. She told Thumbelina, "I have to join my family and friends. They have flown away to a warmer place. I cannot stay here. Come with me." But Thumbelina had enough adventure and didn't want to go anywhere else. And so, the swallow flew away. A few months had passed when the love-struck friend of the mouse found Thumbelina again. "Oh, my beloved, I've been looking for you everywhere. Now, I found you, and you must marry me." Thumbelina knew there was no way out of it for her. So, she asked him if she could spend one last day out in the open air before she was confirmed of living the rest of her life ungrounded with him. As she roamed in the open field for one last time, she heard a familiar voice. Come away with me, where your spirit will always be free," said the swallow. Thumbelina saw her old friend who had returned to her. This time around, she agreed and hopped on the back of the swallow and they took off flying. They flew over land and water and fields of grain. When they reached the land of the flowers, the swallow landed, Thumbelina on beautiful flower petals. "This is the kingdom of the flowers, and this is their king," told the swallow. Thumbelina saw a handsome young king with beautiful wings. He was surrounded by lovely flowers. As soon as she saw him, she knew she wanted to call this place home. Her presence attracted the king's attention. He too fell in love with her immediately. "Will you marry me?" asked the king. "Yes," replied Thumbelina with big smile. As happiness spread across her face, she grew a beautiful pair of wings and became flower queen. Soon, they got married and lived happily ever after. Do you like our story?
Yes, Mom.
What is the title of our story again?
The title of the story is Thumbelina,
Then who is Thumbelina?
a tiny woman that is found in the flower.
Very good. That's it for today, class. I hope you learned a lot from our story. Thank you and God bless everyone.
Thank you, Mom.
Good morning, children.
Good morning.
So, for today, I will tell you the story about the goose that laid the golden eggs. But before we start our story for today, I will ask you a question about what do you see in this cover page?
Goose. Eggs. Farm.
Oh, very good. So, let's start our story entitled The Goose That Laid the Golden Eggs. Once upon a time, there lived a poor farmer in a village with his wife. One day, the farmer bought a goose thinking that the goose will lay eggs which he can eat and sell the remaining. He took the goose home and made a nest for it to lay egg. What the farmer bought to the farm? Jamaica? The farmer bought to the farm is a goose. Next day morning, the farmer went to the nest to check if the goose has laid any egg. To his surprise, the goose had laid a golden egg. The farmer went to the town and sold the golden egg for a good price. The goose started laying a golden egg every day. The farmer sold those eggs and made a good fortune. As the farmer started becoming richer and richer by selling golden, he became more greedy too. One day, while the farmer and his wife were talking, his wife said, "If we could get all the eggs that are inside the goose, we could be richer faster," said the wife of the farmer. Then said the farmer, Then said by the farmer, "You are right. We wouldn't have to wait for the goose to lay her egg every day." So the couple So the couple decided to cut open the goose and get the gold mine inside the goose all at once. Next day, they went to the nest and killed the goose and cut her open, only to find that she was just like every other goose. She didn't have any golden eggs inside her. Now, the farmer and his wife had lost the goose and they would never get any golden eggs again. What happened to the goose and the farmer?
Kill.
The goose was killed by the
farmer.
farmer. And the farmer never get a golden egg. Correct. So, children, the moral of the goose that laid golden eggs story is too much greed always lead to great loss. Just like what happened to the farmer, he cut the goose to get a lot of golden egg. End of our story for today, the goose that laid a golden egg. I hope you learn a lot about the story. But before we end our story for today, let me ask you a question. Who is the character in the story?
Farm.
Farmer.
Goose.
Correct?
Wife.
Oh, correct. Where is the setting of the story?
Farm.
Correct. So, I hope you learn a lot about the story that you can apply in your life every day. Thank you for listening, children.
Good day, children!
Good day, Zona.
Oh, how's your day?
Okay.
You Apam, how's your day?
So good.
Oh, that's good. So, for today, I will read another story. Do you want teacher to read another story to you?
Yes.
Okay.
teacher.
So, this story is, it came from a farmyard story. It's a fable. So, the title of our story is, do you have an idea to our story for today?
Yes.
Oh, really? So, for today, our story is titled Slow Down, Bruce. So, are you ready to listen to my story?
Yes.
Okay. So, title of the story is Slow Down, Bruce. Okay. On Old MacDonald Farm, no one works harder than Bruce the farm dog. So, Bruce is the dog who is very, very hard working. So, except of course, Old MacDonald. So, Old MacDonald is the owner of the farm and Bruce. So, all day long, Bruce dashes around the farm, keeping an eye on everything that goes on. So, when Bruce stay in his kennel, one morning with his head on his paws, everyone is begun to worry. It's not like him at all, clucked Henrietta the hen. He can hardly open his eyes, purred Millie the cat. I've never known him have a day illness in his life, said old George the horse, and I remember him as a pup. Old MacDonald was more worried than any of them. Just stay there, old boy, he said gently to Bruce. I will get someone to help you. And he hurried off to call the vet. So the vet is the animal doctor. Okay, take note of that. So the vet arrived very quickly. She too was very fond of Bruce. She carefully examined him, lifting his paws one by one and checking every part of him truly. Then she patted the old dog's head and said, You're like your master. You need to stop dashing around so much and take better care of yourself. You will be fine in a day or two, but just slow down. Bruce, take it easy for once, please, said the vet. Bruce nodded his head gratefully and went back to sleep. So Bruce is take a rest for that day. So now, Mrs. MacDonald had been listening and returned to the farmhouse with a thoughtful look on her face. Okay, so Bruce did as she was told, and by the end of the week, he was as right as rain. It would soon be time to go back to work. Okay, so when he saw old MacDonald rushing through the yard, hurrying to finish a job, Bruce dashed after him. But Mrs. MacDonald rushed out of the farmhouse and called to the farmer. Husband, she cried, did you hear what the vet said about Bruce? You must set him a good example. Please be a little more thoughtful, said Mrs. Old MacDonald. So Old MacDonald began to slow down, and so did Bruce. The sheepdog soon felt better for it, and so did Old MacDonald. And Mrs. MacDonald, who had been begging her husband to take it easy for years, felt very happy indeed. Okay, so children, did you enjoy our story for today?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, very good. Again, what is the title of our story?
Slow down, Bruce.
Okay, very good. So another question. Who is the owner of the farm of this story?
MacDonald. Old MacDonald.
Okay, very good. Old MacDonald. So who is the wife of Mr.
Miss
MacDonald?
MacDonald.
Okay, it's Mrs. Old MacDonald. So what do you think is the main reason why Bruce is sick on that day?
Because hardworking.
Okay, because he is very hardworking. It's because too much work for him, like Mr. Old MacDonald. And okay, so who is the one who take care of Bruce the day when he was a sick dog?
Bet.
Okay, vet or the veterinarian. Okay, for the last question, children. What do you think is the lesson of the story?
Take a rest. Take care of yourself.
Okay, very good. Take care of ourselves or take a rest. So, okay. So, thank you children for your time for today, and I hope you enjoy this day and to hear my story. So, goodbye children.
Bye-bye,
Bye.
teacher.
Okay.
Good day, class. So our story for today is about The Mighty Meeting by Christina Wetter. Have you heard the story about The Mighty Meeting?
Not yet, ma'am.
Okay, for today, I will read it to you. The Mighty Meeting by Christina Wetter. It was a hot, sunny day in Africa. Elephant was walking down the path on his way to his favorite water hole. He was looking forward to the cool water and a mud bath. Lion was also walking along in the path. Lion was on his way to the grassy plain. He was going to lie down and wait for his lunch. Elephant turned the corner and lifted his trunk in the air. He smelled the water and at the water hole. Lion turned into the same corner. He was getting closer to his favorite hunting spot. Suddenly, the two animals met in the middle of the path. Out of my way, roared the lion. Out of my way, trumpeted the elephant. Make my way for the king of the jungle, roared the lion. Certainly not. I go? Answered the elephant. The path was blocked. The two strong animals stood facing each other. The elephant would not move. The lion would not move. Other animals began to walk along the path. Some were standing behind the elephant and the other behind the lion. Lion and elephant just stared at each other and refused to move. The monkey came running past. He greeted the other animals. Then he reached the lion and the elephant. He looked at the fierce lion. He looked at the innermost elephant. The monkey started to chuckle. He ran off into the jungle to get some monkey vein that hung from the trees. He rushed back to the lion and the elephant. I know how to solve your problem, said the monkey. All the animals behind the elephant and the lion wanted to get a look at what was going on. They saw the monkey arrive with a long piece of monkey vein. He tied one end around the elephant and the other around the lion. He stood on an anthill nearby and shouted, "Friends, we are going to have a tug of war. When I say heave, then it is time for the lion and the elephant to move to pull the monkey vein. May the best animal win," shouted the monkey. Elephant was very strong and pulled hard at the rope. Lion dug his extra sharp claws into the path and pulled hard too. Suddenly, there was a clap of thunder. The animals looked up in the sky. They saw a huge dark rain cloud. A storm was on its way. The lion felt the first drop of the rain. He let go of the monkey vein and ran off into the bushes. My mane, my beautiful mane, I combed it as smooth as silk this morning," he cried. Lion ran to hide under the acacia tortillas, the umbrella thorn tree. "I win," cried Elephant as he stood in the rain. Elephant's thick skin was like a raincoat. He was not worried about getting wet. Monkey hopped about with delight. He wanted Elephant to win. Suddenly, all the animals heard a mighty roar. "No! Rain, stop play! There's no contest." Lion did not want the animal to think he had lost. No contest means there was no winner. Elephant nodded his head and walked down the path. He did not care if he got wet, and he was looking forward to getting muddy too. Hey class, did you enjoy the story?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the title of the story by Christina Wither?
The Mighty Meeting.
What animals are the character of the story?
The monkey, elephant, and lion.
What have you learned from the story?
I learned that you will never win in every battle.
Okay, very good. Okay, that is it for our story. Thank you and see you next time.
Good morning, children.
Good morning, sir.
How is your day?
We're fine, sir.
For today, I prepared a short story, and I think you are familiar to this story about Robin Hood, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, children, pay attention and listen to the story. Long ago, England was ruled by the greedy Prince John. He ordered the sheriff, or Nottingham, to tax the people, and heavenly that some were forced to become outlaws. Two of the most famous outlaws were Robin Hood and Little John, who would steal the tax money from the sheriff and give it back to the poor. One day, Prince John was traveling by coach Nottingham to pick more taxes money. He was so busy counting his gold that he didn't notice he was passing through Sheriff Wood Forest, the home of Robin Hood. Nor did he see Little John and Robin Hood watching from a tree. "Look at all the gold. Hey, Little John, let's pay Prince John and Little visit." In his coach, Prince John was talking to his counselor, Sir Heath, about his favorite subject, gold, beautiful gold. Life has been wonderful since King Richard left for the Crusades. He treated the people too nicely and missed out on all his lovely gold. How I lovely gold! Robin Hood and Little John were standing by the road side disguised a lady fortune teller when the coach passed by. Care to have your fortune told, your majesty? Fortune tellers, how droll. Stopped the coach, while Robin Hood told Prince John fortune. He slipped the royal rings of his finger, and little John helped him, sell to the prince's gold. Prince John never even knew he had been robbed until Robin and Little John had escaped. Meanwhile, the sheriff Nottingham was busy collecting taxes. I must have more taxes. Hand over that gold coin, Sonny. He even took a coin that Mr. Bunny had given her son Skippy for his birthday. The sheriff had no heart. Robin Hood didn't think little Skippy would go without present on his birthday. Here, Skippy, take a bow and arrow, and here's my hat. It's a little big, but you'll grow into it. The first time Skippy tried to bow, his arrow flew over Prince John's castle wall. On the other side, Skippy saw Maid Marian and Lady Cluck. Even though Marian was related to the Prince John, he was Robin Hood's friend. Long ago, they had been childhood sweethearts. One day, Robin's friend Friar Tuck came to Sherwood Forest with some news. Prince John is having an archery tournament tomorrow, and you are the best archery in all England. I would like to go, Friar Tuck, but if I do, I'm sure to be captured. Maid Marian will have a kiss for the winner. Oh, Delali, what are we waiting for? The next day, two strangers appeared at the tournament, a stork and a duck. Nobody would recognize you in this disguise, said Robin Hood. I will win the tournament and the kiss, but no one will know the winner is Robin Hood. Soon as the stork and the sheriff were only ones left in the contest, even though the sheriff tried to cheat by having the target move. The stork made an amazing shot and won. Prince John was watched very closely. When Robin came to claim his prize, Prince John was ready. And now, I name you the loser. Seize him. I sentence you to sudden, instant, and even immediate death. It looked like the end of Robin Hood. But suddenly, Little John grabbed Prince John. Let my friend go, or else. Once Robin was free, and big fight began. Robin Hood and Little John fought off the guard bravely. Sword, glass, and arrow flew. Maid Marian was almost seized by the guard, but Robin climbed a pole, grabbed the rope, and swung down to her rescue. Then he and his friend escaped into the woods. Safely back Sherwood Forest, Robin and his band celebrated. Little John sang a song making fun of Prince John. It was so funny that soon at all Nottingham was singing it. But Prince John was angry when he heard the song. Double the taxes, triple the taxes, I'll make them pay. But, of course, nobody could pay and prison will full. The sheriff even robbed the church and arrested Friar Tuck for objecting. When Prince John heard Friar Tuck was in jail, he planned a new trap for Robin Hood. We'll hang Friar Tuck in the morning, and when the thief Robin Hood comes to the rescue, we'll have him. But Robin Hood was a foxy fellow and planned the rescue for the night. He and Little John climbed the high castle wall. Then Robin Hood Robin Hood dressed up like a guard and sneaked up to the sleeping sheriff of Nottingham. Carefully, he stole a jail key. Here it is, Little John. This, this and opened the cell door. Everyone in the jail was surprised to see a familiar face enter the room. They cried for a joy. Shh! Quiet! We're breaking out of here. Little John fed everyone. Meanwhile, Robin Hood had climbed up into the Prince John bed room, where all the gold was kept. Prince John and Sir His were sound asleep. Robin Hood tied bags of gold, a rope reeds between the bedroom window and the jail. As the gold reached the jail, Little John took the bags of rope. Take them and run, he shouted as they passed the gold to the escaping prisoner. Just then, Prince John awoke. My gold! It's gone, guards! The courtyard became a jumble of flying narrow guards and fleeing prisoners. Trapped in the castle by himself, Robin climbed a tower to escape the guards. Robin in the towers, burn him out, shouted the sheriff, but Robin escaped by diving into the moat. After him, shoot him! He is in the moat. All the sheriff men fired arrows into the water. When Robin had popped to the surface of the moat, Prince John was overjoyed. He finished. Done for. Even Little John thought Robin had drowned. Poor Robin, he never had a chance. Then up popped Robin from under the water. Hey, Little John, I'm still alright. I've been breathing through this reed. Soon after Robin narrow escape, good King Richard came back from the court crusades to take his place on the throne of England. Happiness returned to the land. Robin Hood and Maid Marian will marry, and all their friends came to wish them well. And that's the story of Robin Hood. And now, I have a question. What do you think the story of Robin Hood? Do you like it?
Yes, sir. Because Robin Hood is very brave and kind.
That's right. Do you want to follow Robin Hood's way of helping others?
No, sir, because there is another way to help without stealing the way.
That's right. There's a many way to help others, and stealing it's not a good way. Okay, children, that's all for today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So, our story for today is The Ant and the Grasshopper, retold and illustrated by Rovini Chadori. Once, there lived an ant and a grasshopper in a grassy meadow. All day long, the ant would work hard collecting grains from the farmer's field far away. She would hurry to the field every morning as soon as it was light enough to see by, and toil back with the heavy grain of wheat balanced on her head. She would put the grain wet carefully away in her larder and then hurry back to the field for another one. All day long she would work, without stop or rest, scurrying back and forth from the field, collecting the grains of wheat and storing them carefully in her larder. The grasshopper would look at her and laugh. Why do you work so hard, dear aunt? He would say. Come rest a while. Listen to my song. Summer is here The days are long and bright. Why waste the sunshine in labor and toil? The ant would ignore him, and the head bent would just hurry to the field a little faster. This would make the grasshopper laugh even louder. What a silly little ant you are, he would call after her. Come, come and dance with me. Forget about work. Enjoy the summer. Live a little. And the grasshopper would hop away across the meadow, singing and dancing merrily. Summer faded into autumn, and autumn turned into winter. The sun was hardly seen, and the days were short and gray. The nights long and dark. It became freezing cold, and began the snow to fall. The grasshopper didn't feel like singing anymore. He was cold and hungry. He had nowhere to shelter from the snow, and nothing to eat. The meadow and the farmer's field were covered in snow, and there was no food to be had. Oh, what shall I do? Where shall I go? Wailed the grasshopper. Suddenly, he remembered the ant. Ah, I shall go to the ant and ask her for food and shelter, declared the grasshopper, perking up. So off he went to the ant's house and knocked at her door. Hello, ant, he cried cheerfully. Here I am to sing for you, as I warm myself by your fire. Will you get me some food from the larder of yours? The ant looked at the grasshopper and said, all summer long, I worked hard while you made fun of me, and sang and danced. You should have thought of winter then. Find somewhere else to sing, grasshopper. There is no warmth or food for you here. And the ant shut the door in the grasshopper's face. And that's the end of our story. So, the moral of the story is work today and you can reap benefits tomorrow. The best preparation for tomorrow is doing your best today. By H. Jackson Brown Jr.
Once upon a time, there lived a horse in a big jungle. He was very proud of himself. He saw a snail seeing how slowly the snail moved. The horse started teasing him. Hey snail, shall we have a race? The horse asked. The snail was very angry with the horse. Okay, let's do it. We will race on Sunday, said the snail. Snail went home and called all the snail to discuss this issue. He told everyone about the race. They made a plan to outsmart the horse. Since all the snails look alike, they decided to confuse the horse with their intelligence. When Sunday came, they left home very early. They started hiding in the place in a little distance from each other, all the way from starting point to the finishing line. The horse ran a little and then looked down. He saw the snail ahead of him. The horse increased his pace, but the snail was still ahead. The horse started running harder and faster. However hard the horse tries, the snail was still ahead of him. The poor horse finally gave up after trying really hard. Okay, I lose, said the humble horse. The snail laughed out loudly. Ha 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 ha.